Okay, dynamic path. Okay, so path is like what? It is a new way of sending the data from the consumer to producer by using URL. By using URL, that is called what? Path. You know path, right? In general path, right? So here also in the Spring Boot, there is a path variable annotation is there. Okay, if you want to set the either static or endpoint URL slash, maybe if you want to fetch all employee details, then position is what? Dynamic path. For example, http colon localhost colon 8081. I'm passing endpoint URL. Here, I want to get all the data. This is called what? Dynamic path. This is called as what? Dynamic path. Dynamic path. See, is there any difference between the above approach and the below approach? Is there? Is there any difference in the URL? See, in the first URL, http colon localhost 8081 slash employee slash all, right? But here, http colon localhost 8081 employee slash what? Curly braces, we are passing what? Data. Either maybe employee ID I can pass, maybe particular employee name or particular employee salary or particular employee department, something, something, something. Dynamic, right? See, in the, yeah, in the core Java, in the core Java, let me write public class some test. Public static void main string array args. Now int x equal to 3. System dot out dot println x value is it valid program? Guys, is it valid core Java program? Valid or invalid? Valid, right? Invalid. Compile, D drive, Java, C. Sir, Spring Boot class na, but you are teaching core Java. X value 3. Why I'm saying? I want to execute one more time. X value 4 or 3 or 1 or 2 or 10. You can execute 1000 times also. You are getting what? 3. This is called as what? Static value. Getting my point? Static means what? Yeah, it is fixed. It cannot be changed. It bodise Surya, it bodise idu maru. Static content, right? Right. Coming to the dynamic. What is the dynamic approach? Can you tell me? You can use scanner S is equal to new scanner of system dot in. Okay, now system dot out dot println what? Enter a number. Int x equal to is what? Let me comment this one. Int x equal to what? S dot next int. Now the x value. No, I don't want to give. Am I compiled? No, right? Suppose if I execute, what is that output? Are you getting any compile time error? No, yaar. Whatever the class file is there already, that class file related only you are getting the output, right? Not this scanner related. That static value, whatever you have, I didn't compile, right? If I compile, that class file will be reloaded. Yes or no? But I didn't compile. I am trying to execute what x value is what 3. Yes or no? Every modification in the Java file or Java class, you need to what? Recompilation mandatory or not? Otherwise, that previous class file output only you are getting 100%, right? That's why we are getting, even you can execute again, not entered that input, we are getting what? It should be, right? X value 5. X value is what? 5. Okay, let me execute x value 1. Okay, x value 111. Okay. What is this? Is it static value or dynamic value? Dynamic. Getting my point? I hope you got the clarity difference between static and dynamic. Right? So, this approach is what? Don't comply, sir. The Spring Boot class is always giving core Java. బ్రెయిన్ ఉపయోగించాలి. అర్థమైందా? ఆల్వేస్ కంప్లైంట్ అంటే పిచ్చోళ్ళు అంటారు. అర్థమైందా? ఎందుకంటే కాన్సెప్ట్ వచ్చినప్పుడు దానికి ఇంకొంచెం డౌనే చెప్తాను, అంతేగాని కోర్ జావ చెబుతున్నాడు, అడ్వాన్స్ జావ చెబుతున్నాడు, నీకెందుకు ఆయా? కంప్లైంట్ చేయడానికి ఇదిగా ఉంటారు. మేము ఆరేసుకొని కూర్చొని ఉన్నాం, వచ్చిన కంప్లైంట్లన్నీ ఎత్తుకొని తల తీసుకెళ్ళి గోడ గీసి కొట్టుకోవడానికి. ఎలాంటి వాళ్ళు ఎంతమంది చూశానంటావు? వేలకు చెప్పా ఇప్పటి వరకు. ఎక్కడికి నరేష్ ఐటీ కొత్త ఏమో. అర్థమైందా? మెజారిటీ నా స్టూడెంట్స్ అంతా అబ్రాడ్లోనే ఉన్నారు. దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ అది నేను చాలా ప్రౌడ్గా ఫీల్ అవుతా. మరి మీరెందుకు సార్ హైదరాబాద్ పుట్టుకుని ఉండారంటే, ఏం చేస్తాం, మా గుదిబండలు ఉన్నాయి, డిపెండెన్సీస్ ఉన్నాయి, సో వెళ్ళటానికి అవకాశాలు లేవు. చాలా చాలా అబ్రాడ్ ఆపర్చునిటీస్ వచ్చాయి కానీ బట్ మిస్ అంతే. సరే, ఓకే, కమ్ టు ది కాన్సెప్ట్. సో the path variable, see, this is the one of the way to sending the data from the consumer to producer. Getting? But here the path is always representing location. Yes or no? Right? For example, I am new to the Hyderabad, I want to go for the high-tech city. There is a bus, there is a auto, there is some Uber and Ola, something, it is working, you can use it. Okay, but what is the path? Yeah, you can go straight. Even this way also it is, we are able to go for the high-tech city. Yes or no? Go for the Amirpet or maybe some that is Kukatpalli, Lake Mosapet, right? That way also you can go. That is what Donka Tirugod road kadadi. Straight forward, right? Straight forward means, sir, you can go straight. Teskel cyber towers దగ్గర మిమ్మల్ని తేలుతుంది, ఎక్కడ మునగన అంటాడు. I hope you got the clarity between the static path and the dynamic path. Static means what? Always fixed. But the dynamic means what? Based on the request, the output will be changed. Right? You already saw that one in core Java level. Okay, come to the our concept. Okay, path variable. First of all, what is this path variable, sir? Let me give the clarity. Okay, path variable, that is, it is a new way of sending the data from where? From consumer to what? Producer, by using what? URL. Yes or no? You already saw that URL, right? Okay, let me go. This is what URL, right? By using that URL, I will give the more clarity, detail. Okay, don't worry. First, concept understanding is mandatory instead of developing the application. కాన్సెప్ట్ అర్థం కాకుండా నేను ఇచ్చిన కోడ్ కాపీ పేస్ట్ చేస్తే టైపింగ్ వస్తుంది, అంతేనా? ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అయిన ప్రోగ్రామ్ మీ ల్యాప్టాప్లో ఎందుకు ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవ్వదు, మీ డెస్క్టాప్లో ఎందుకు ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవ్వదు? ఏమైందో రోగం, అవునా కదా? ఎక్కడ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అయింది మీ దగ్గర ఎందుకు రాదు? కాకపోతే కొంచెం అటో ఇటో ఏదైనా వర్షన్ ఏదైనా కొంచెం అటో ఇటో ఏ పెట్టాల్సింది బి పెట్టు, బి పెట్టాల్సింది జడ్డ పెడితే తప్ప, అవునా కదా? రైట్. So it is a new way of what? Sending the data from consumer to what? Producer. Path is what? It is a location, or might be you can give the ID. Okay, given for what? A service. That is either class, oblique, maybe method. Okay, that is called what? Path. Path is what? Either location, or maybe you can pass what? ID given for a service. That is either service class, or maybe in the service class there is a method also. Getting my point? Okay, I will show the practical here. You can wait few minutes. Okay, anyway, we are going to develop that applications as well. Okay, how many types of paths are there as you discussed? Tell me. Basically, paths are two types. Yes or no? One is what? Static path. The other one is what? Dynamic path. Okay, so what is the difference between static path and a dynamic path? See, the static path is what? The static path is what? Actual path given for what? Given for service. Given for what? Service. Example, let me give that. Example, sometimes maybe you can use, as I said, putta, patcha, getta, delete, what? సైకలాజికల్ థింక్ చేయండి వా, ఏముంది పెద్ద. ఒకసారి మా ఆన్లైన్, లెట్ మీ గో ఫర్ ద ఆన్లైన్. కెన్ యూ సజెస్ట్ మీ గైస్? ఐఎమ్ యూజింగ్ ద ఆల్ ఇన్ మై along with my endpoint URL. What kind of request? Right, I will keep it confidential. Let me check with get exactly. Yes or no? See here, all means what? You are pulling the data, na? Then what request? Get mapping only, right? Okay, again, suppose let me take the student, just I'm using what to save. What kind of request can you tell me? Save. Online, to pull all records of maybe employee. Let's assume maybe student or something. Then it means what? Get or not? Okay. I want to save my record. Then what? Post. I want to update the record at globally. Put up patch. Put. Patch means what? Partial updation. If you want to update the student email ID or maybe student address or maybe student course, partial update on that record. Patch or patchwork, we already discussed, right? There is a hole in this. Sorry, okay, Randy. So it means what? Different requests. The static path. That is where you are applying on this. We have to apply at what? At a class or method. Clear? That is called what? Static path. Clear, guys? Where you are going to update? Either in the class or maybe method. Okay? Not for variable and all, right? Okay. Which looks what? Which looks like what? Path only. Okay, path only, but there is some variation. There is some variation. Let me tell. It looks like what? Path only, but some variation. What is this are? Example. What? You have to use curly braces data. Right? Maybe ID. Okay, I'm giving the space. That is different approaches you can use. Right? In that data might be either an ID also. Based on that idea, you want to update the record. Yes or no? What ID? I don't know. But I want to pass the dynamically. Getting my point? So, maybe like what? Placeholder as per in JDBC prepared state level. Okay, right. See, I want to give the one example. You can consider like just a small piece of code. You can consider what kind of request, whether it is like a static path or maybe dynamic path, you have to decide. Okay, I am writing one controller like REST controller. Do you know what about the REST controller? REST controller తెలుసా? ఎప్పుడు చెప్పారా మీరు? REST controller చెప్పానా లేదా? ఎప్పుడు చెప్పాను? పెద్ద ఇచ్చులు పడతాను అన్నట్టు చూస్తున్నా నాకెళ్ళి మీరు. ఆల్రెడీ డిస్కస్ చేసాం కదా. సరే అంటే మీరు అట్లా చూసేలేక నాకే కొన్ని జల్లు మంది. మరి నేను రెస్ట్ కంట్రోల్లో చెప్పకుండా అసలు ఈ ప్రోగ్రాంలో చెబుతున్నాను అన్నట్టుగా నాకు డౌట్ వచ్చేసింది. ఓకే, రైట్. పబ్లిక్ క్లాస్, మై క్లాస్ నేమ్ ఈస్ మేబీ స్టూడెంట్ రెస్ట్ కంట్రోలర్. ఇస్ ఇట్ రెస్ట్ కంట్రోలర్? ఇస్ ఇట్ నార్మల్ క్లాస్ యార్? నార్మల్ క్లాస్ రెస్ట్ కంట్రోలరా? నార్మల్ క్లాసే. మైసూరు బోండాలో మైసూరు ఉండదు, అవునా కాదు? మైసూరు కేఫ్లో కూడా లేదు. చిన్న బిందెలు అప్పుడు కట్ చేయమాకరా అన్నారు. తీసుకెళ్ళి కూర వండుకోవచ్చు, ఎంత పుట్టయి అట్లా కాలేదు. పెద్దది అవుతుంది లేరా అబ్బాయి అని నేతి పెరగండి వస్తుందా అని అన్నాను. ఉంటుందా నేతి బీరకాయలు పిసికితే పసర వస్తుంది, నేతి బీరకాయ ఉండదు. వై ఐఎమ్ సేయింగ్ దట్ వన్, దిస్ ఈస్ ద లైక్ నేమ్ ఈస్ వాట్ స్టూడెంట్ రెస్ట్ కంట్రోలర్, but it is not a rest controller. Even though it is not a controller, the class name like what here, rest controller, but you have to add some masala, otherwise no taste, right? That means what you have to do, you have to adi ee masala add chesi be student. Let's assume I am writing the one method, that is public student get data. Okay, get data. Then what is the recommended annotation? Get mapping. Inside that get mapping, what I have to pass slash find slash. Okay, what kind of request, what kind of path, static path or dynamic path? Sure, simple here, mesalo tegante dynamic, that is path variable integer id, right? Okay, that is what you can write whatever the logic you want. So if you remove this one, static only, right? Whenever you are passing dynamic, that is considered as what, dynamic path only. Okay, right, let me give them some clarification on this example. Okay, at the rate id, it's what, first of all we want to understand. See, at the rate id is what, at the rate id is called as what, dynamic path. Yes or no? If we remove the id, then what, static path, right? అర్థమవుతుందా? Online, are you with me? Hello guys. Okay, to call dynamic path, then what, to call dynamic path, then what, we need to pass data, that is example. The example is what, http colon localhost colon 8081. See, 8080 also possible, but in my one service is running on that 8080 port number, that's why I'm changing what, 8081. Your wish. Okay, right. http colon localhost colon 808. Employee student, oh sorry, student, sorry, student. Agvamma. This is what, student. Student, this endpoint URL. Okay, find up to this what, kind of path, static path. If you want to use this same URL as a dynamic path, then what, you can use, because 101 is what, id, na? Getting my point? If you are right. Next common point, this is used for what, this approach, what, the above URL. This is used to send data by using what, URL without what? Any key. Do you require any key here? No need. You can pass directly that value. Then it can be. Okay, I hope you got the clarity about this example. Line number 22 is what? Endpoint URL. Line number 25, this is what we are passing dynamic path. Okay, in this dynamic path, while executing that application, after executing like run as Spring Boot application, then you can open the Postman http colon localhost colon 8081 slash student slash find slash that ID. Whatever the ID you want. Okay, right. So this approach what? This is used to what? Sending the data by using the URL without using any key. Clear? Okay. Next, very important point. To read this data that is by using what? Dynamic path. By using what? Dynamic path. We have to use what is that? What is that? See, you have to use what? At the rate path variable. At the rate what? Path variable. Then to send the data by using the URL without key. Directly as it is ID and better. I mean, you have to pass what? Dynamic input. So, while reading this data, like dynamic path, we have to use what? The below syntax, that is path variable. Interview lo adagochu. How you are passing the data dynamically with the help of what? Path variable. Where you can apply? In the method I used, path variable, data type, ID. Without data type, no. With data type. Okay, right. That is what this is called. This is called as what? This is called as URL. This is called as what? A clean URL. Better. This is called as what? A clean URL. Okay, right. That is, there is endpoint URL, right? After that, we are passing what? What type of method type that are corresponding the URL, then we are passing what? One input key. Okay. No complex symbols like what? Placeholder. ఓకే, జస్ట్ హైలైట్ చేస్తున్నాను డబుల్ కోట్స్ అని. మీరు ఇక్కడ అలా వాడొద్దు. హైలైట్ చేస్తున్నా. ఓకే, డబుల్ కోట్స్ ఇన్ ద సెన్స్ జస్ట్ ఐఎమ్ హైలైటింగ్. ఓకే, రైట్. నో కాంప్లెక్స్ లైక్ వాట్? ప్లేస్ హోల్డర్ ఆర్ యూజ్డ్. No additional query processing time, but it is bit faster compared to what? At the rate request param. See, there is a request param also there to pass input, right? But it is more faster what? Path variable as request param. Getting my point? Even by using request param also you are able to pass the argument, but it is much easier because there is no complex symbols like what? Placeholder. Okay, clean URL. Let me give the more clarity. Here, no additional query processing time. Okay. Next, it is bit faster than or compared to what? At the rate request param. See in the interview room. ఇప్పటికి చాలా ఎనటేషన్స్ మనం డిస్కస్ చేసాం కదా. ఈ ఎనటేషన్స్ కొంచెం కాంప్లికేటెడ్గా కొంచెం కన్ఫ్యూజ్గా ఉండొచ్చేమో. కొంచెం మీరు ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తే తప్ప అర్థం కాదు ఇది. ఓకే, దట్స్ ఆల్ అబౌట్ ఇట్ హియర్. బట్ హియర్ ద ఆర్డర్ ఈజ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఓకే, ద ఆర్డర్ ఈజ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఈజీలో కూడా కొంచెం రూల్స్ అండ్ రెగ్యులేషన్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఓకే, ఇప్పుడు ఈ మైక్ నేను పెట్టుకున్నా, ఈ మైకు నాకు కొంచెం యూస్ఫుల్గా ఉంది. బట్ ఆర్డర్ వచ్చేసి కొంచెం డిఫరెంట్గా మార్చాను. వినపడుతుందా? Getting the output, yes or no? That is what the difference between the path variable and request param. Both are useful to giving what? Dynamic input. That's okay, you can pass that argument. Okay, but which one is the simplest way? Which one is giving the more performance? That is what I given. Okay, right. But here you should follow the some order. That is must follow the order. ఓకే, మీకు అర్థం కావటానికి మేబీ ఆఫ్లైన్లో ఉన్నటువంటి వాళ్ళకి మేబీ గైస్ యూ మై నాట్ బీ అండర్స్టాండ్ కంప్లీట్లీ. ఐ థింక్ సో, బికాజ్ ఇక్కడ డైరెక్షన్ ఉంటుంది, యాక్టింగ్ ఉంటుంది, ఈజీగా అర్థమైపోతుంది ఆఫ్లైన్ వాళ్ళకి. ఓకే, ఆన్లైన్ మైట్ బి యు ఆర్ ఆల్సో ఫాలోయింగ్, ఐ థింక్. ఓకే, మస్ట్ ఫాలో ద ఆర్డర్. Must follow the order while sending multiple keys or maybe multiple path data. It is cinema. Okay, that is the path or maybe that URL, how it will be. Let me check in the path level. See, there is a student. After that, what I given? Find slash 101 slash that is student ID, student name Naresh, student salary or maybe some student fee something. Okay, 200. This is what to path. The URL like what? Try to understand. The URL, how we are going to do? That is student slash find slash maybe find slash 101. The URL looks like what? This is, but path is what? Student find. I am trying to pull the 101 record, that to Naresh, that to the salary or that fee, like this. There is a slightly difference between path and URL. Getting my point? The path and URL here slightly there is a difference. Here just you can give the 101, then you are getting all details of the particular student data in the URL. But in the path, what? 101, some Naresh, some student fee or something. Okay, I will show the practical here. Wait some time. The order must follow the order while sending multiple keys or path data. Order is important. Okay. Suppose if I interchange this order, Naresh might be hundreds of Nareshes are there, right? In the KPHP. There is a possibility. Student fee, all are same. Let's assume in this classroom, maybe 3 Nareshes might be there. Let's assume. Same fee, same name. That's what. Next, once they complete this point, you can go for the application development. Okay, right. The last one, if any data type, conversion issues occurred, then what you have to do? Then the status code. See guys, the HTTP status error codes also mandatory. Not only for error, complete HTTP status codes 100 to 500. Okay, 101. What is the purpose? 102, 103. ఇవన్నీ చెప్పడం ఆల్రెడీ మీకు సర్వలెట్లు చెప్పి ఉండాలి కొన్ని, రైట్? సో HTTP స్టేటస్ కోడ్స్ లైక్ 101 ఇన్ఫర్మేషనల్, 200 సక్సెస్, 300 redirection, 400 client issues, 500 server issues. Okay, client issues, there is a difference, input mismatch, or maybe client may not have the access. There is some other error also getting, like 403 forbidden means what? There is no access to that URL or that application, something like that. So they won't ask what is the purpose of 100, what is the purpose of 200. They won't ask. అవునా కదా? ఎవడైనా చెబుతాడు, అబ్బాయి ఎన్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ డ్రైవర్లు ఉండేరా JDBCలో? 4. చెప్పురా, ఒకటి టైప్ 1, టైప్ 2, టైప్ 3, టైప్ 4. LKG UKG ఓడి చెప్పినా కానీ, అరే ఈ క్వశ్చన్ అడిగితే ఈ ఆన్సర్ నువ్వు చెప్పాలరా, చెబుతాడా చెప్పలేడా? మరి వాడికి మనకి తేడా ఏందంట? అర్థమవుతుందా? ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ టైప్ ఆఫ్ డ్రైవర్ హ్యావింగ్ దేర్ ఓన్ డ్రైవర్ క్లాస్, దేర్ ఓన్ కనెక్షన్ URL, yes or no? That is what you have to prove yourself. Getting my point? That's why if any data type, that's what, where it is came, HTTP status codes 100 it is informational, 200 it is the success. They won't ask that much easy questions. Okay, they're always criticizing us, they're always troubling in the interview room. Okay, they directly ask what is the purpose of the 403? Let's say, see the method is not available, then what? 405, right? So maybe they ask the sub status codes, they won't ask 100 purpose, 200 purpose, 300 purpose, 400, 500. Everyone knows. They will getting down, or they will dig issues occurred, then what? Then the status code is 400. That is what? Bad request. Called as what? Bad request. Okay, that is what. I hope you got the clarity about what is this path variable. So finally conclusion, the path is what? The way of sending the path variable is what? The way of sending the data from the consumer to what? Producer. Sir, first of all, what do you mean by path? Path is what? Either location or maybe that is ID. Okay, that is given by what? Either service like what? Either class or maybe that method also. Clear? Okay, two types of paths are there. One is the static path, another one is what? Dynamic path. The static path is what? Actual path given by the service. The service is what? Either class or maybe that method. Next what? Dynamic path is what? Sending the data which looks like what? Path only. Some variation. కర్లీ బ్రేసెస్ ఉంది అంటే డైనమిక్ పాతే మీరు బ్లైండ్ గా చెప్పొచ్చు. ఓకేనా? ఈ స్టాటిక్ పాత్కి ఎప్పుడు కర్లీ బ్రేసెస్ ఇవ్వరు. ఓకే, ఎక్కడ ఎలా ఉంటది? ఇలా ఉంటది. లైక్ వాట్ ఎండ్ పాయింట్ యూఆర్ఎల్, జస్ట్ ఫైనల్లీ యూ కెన్ గివ్ ద రెస్పెక్టివ్ యూఆర్ఎల్. ఓకే, బట్ హియర్ దెర్ ఈస్ ఎ డిఫరెన్స్, రైట్? Here also difference, right? That is what we given the some example. We given that what is that ID and all we can. Okay, mostly. Are you clear? At least some idea. Online. Oh, down. 5 members down today. Guys, are you following online? Can you respond here? Are you with us? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Whoever responded. Okay. Right. Let me develop the one application. File yaro, new yaro, Spring Starter project yaro. Now, what is it? Spring Boot to Web Params application. Okay, that is fine. Everything, no need to change anything. Type Maven, Java version, packaging, language, everything is same here. What are the dependencies you are going to use? Spring Web, Spring Dev Tools, Lambak. Okay, right. So I'm not giving the dependencies in the application. Okay, then let me do one thing. In the application itself, I will give in the main class, online and offline, I will share the dependencies in the main class. Anyway, application I'm sharing, right? So in the main class, I will share the dependencies. You can cross check. Okay, na? Might be you are suffering with the dependencies. So which one is the required? Which one is the not required? Maybe you have some confusion, or else let me mention the notes here. Best application development, it means program is there. Okay, right? Application development. So whenever you observe this one, the dependencies I am writing, dependencies, what are the dependencies given? Spring Web, next Spring Dev Tools, next Lombok. These are the dependencies here. These are the dependencies. See, whenever you are encounter this word like application development, there is a program. Okay, then you can go for the program development where you are. What is that? Spring Boot to Web Params here. Okay. Right. So I am going to develop one REST controller, new class, that is what REST. The class name is what? Student REST controller. Student REST controller. Okay. Now, if you want to make this class as a REST controller, then what? You have to annotate it with what? At the rate REST controller, control shift O. It is indexing here. Have you understood the concept first of all? మీరు ఏదేదో చెప్పారు కానీ మాకేం అర్థం కాలేదంటారా? At the rate request mapping, at the rate request mapping, control shift O, control shift O, just I'm using what? Like the endpoint URL is what? Student. So I'm writing one method that, like, let me write public. What is the return type so far you are using? The method return type. What you used so far? Method return type here. REST controller. Response entity. Okay, response entity. Right, you can pass string type. Okay, I'm trying get data. So this is what my method. Response entity. Yeah, error means what? Some return type is expecting. So our program had to complete. Get data means what? What is the request type? Getta, posta, putta, delete, patcha. Huh? Correct. Get mapping. Get mapping also you can pass what? Some URL, find. I want to pass the dynamic path, okay? Directly. Anyway, static path. So far what you did, that is completely static path. Okay, right. So I want to pass the dynamic path. Then id slash I want to pass the code something. Okay, right. Here in this method, do you require pass the arguments or not? How many inputs is required? How many inputs? Program చూడండి భయ ఎన్ని ఇన్పుట్లు పాస్ చేయాలి? 3. అర్థమైందా? ఓన్లీ ఫర్ వాట్? ఆన్లైన్ గెట్ మ్యాపింగ్. కరెక్ట్. 2. మీరు నా కళ్ళు ఎదుటి అంత తప్పులు చెబుతారేంటి? ట్రూ చెప్పారా? బానీలే. సో పాత్ వేరియబుల్ control shift. Okay, path variable id na just I'm using what? Integer data type, right? id. Next what? At the rate path variable code na might be alphanumeric or whatever. Just I'm taking what? String. Clear? Control Shift O. Still why you are getting? Why it is scolding us? దీనికి పని బాట లేదంటారా? Right. Okay. Still why it is giving the error, missing the written statement. Simple. Okay. Right. Yet to our code is complete. Now the response entity, why it is already there now, you can take it what? Response entity, some RESP equal to what? New response entity, then what? Hello data. ఏంది మీనింగ్లెస్ కదా, సర్లే ఎట్టన్నా కానీ ఏం కాదు. ఓకే, హలో డేటా, some ID, whatever the ID you are passing as input, okay, plus I am separating with what, comma, plus what, code. Okay, after that, what is the missing other one? HTTP status code is required now. HTTP status dot. Okay. Then what written statement is what? Written RESP. Closer. Program over. చాలా ఈజీగా చేసాం మనం. Right? Two arguments. That is two input parameters. Clear? Guys, if you are not to use anything, this is what static path. అర్థమవుతుందా గైస్? Whenever you are identified anywhere, not only this code, in the Google, maybe in the ChatGPT, given whatever the code, that is what, if you are identify curly braces, that is representing what? Input. That is, you need to pass the input here. Simple. Only one curly brace set, one input. If more than one curly brace set, you have to pass based on that curly braces set, you should pass what input. Getting my point? Where? In the postman or in the URL. Okay, right. That URL might be working in the browser also, right? In the beginning, I shown before start postman. You are open the browser. Okay. Now let me execute my application. Any error? No error. Let me start my application, whether it is working or not. Why not? Might be getting port number. Let's see. See the port issue. Web server failed to start. Port number 8080 was already in use. That is already running. So then what is the solution? Can you tell me? Tell me here. In the application dot properties, change the server port number. Yes or no? Server dot port equal to 8081. Perfect. Yes. Thank you. Again, let me execute my application. Run as Spring Boot app. Run as Spring Boot app. My application is working successfully. There is no error. It is running on what? Port number 8080. Now what we have to do? Open the postman. Even that URL also, it is in the browser also it is working, but as Spring Boot developer, don't go for the browser. You should use what? Postman. Yes or no? What are the benefits for the postman? We already discussed, I already shared here. Come on. What is that? HTTP colon localhost 808001. What is the endpoint URL? Employer, student? Student. After pass the student again, find. After that again, ID. Again, నేనేం పాత్ చేయను, స్టాటిక్ పాత్ పెడతా. చూద్దాం దాని ఎవరు మన ఎవరు. స్టూడెంట్ స్లాష్ వాట్ ఇస్ దట్ ఇయర్ ఫైండ్. వాట్ ఈస్ ద మెథడ్ టైప్? గెట్. ఓకే, సూపర్. అవుట్పుట్ వచ్చేసింది. అరే ఎలా వచ్చేసింది? అవుట్పుట్ వచ్చేసింది. ఎర్రర్ యార్ 404 not found. Yes or no? Right. No such, sorry, no resource found exception, no static resource. That is student slash find for request. Then what? ID and what code na? Okay. ID is what? 101 slash that code might be I'm passing Naresh. Okay, right. Is it working? Server error. Name for argument type Java dot. Oi. What your pass? Where? Here. ID only na. String. Oh, wait. What is the problem here? Path variable. Then okay. Integer string, that is fine. Okay, response entity string get data. That is okay. Any error? ID. Okay, code. That is okay. Then all are good, no? Why it is giving? Any problem? Am I did? Why? Get only, no? We are using illegal argument exception not found. Okay, one thing let me do here. Where? Let me change. Again. URL. నరేష్ కి స్ట్రింగ్ అట్లా ఏముండదే. స్ట్రింగ్ ఎండ్ పాయింట్ వరకు అలా చేయలేం కదా. Why it is not giving? See, instead of using that one, let me try this approach. Add that argument string type code. Okay. What is this? It should work. That time, okay, status, internal error, trace is what java.long. Illegal argument exception. Name for argument type java.lang. Response entity. Okay, might be this issue. I'm not, I don't think so. Let me try. No. What is the problem with it? I think response entity string accepts only one value. That too also let me check. Huh? Huh? Okay, okay. Okay, okay, fine. Even that one also like what? Error. No such, no resource found, no stack trace. It should be work now. What is the problem? What I did. Return is why it is not working. It should be work here. I hope it should be work. Condition unchanged. Is there any error we are getting? No. Validation unchanged. Get to HTTP localhost 8080 student to find. Okay, some one or two. Let's assume maybe. No, right? Then here what? Name for what? Integer not specified. I think response entity accept only. Yeah, might be. Let me change that code here. The response entity, let me change like integer. Okay. Where here, here, as control shift O, control shift O, then what? Incorrect number of argument type. It cannot be permitted with arguments integer string. Oh, integer string also not allowing. Oh, something. Mm, 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 mm. Why it is not? ID and data. ID and data. Okay, let me try with one argument. Later on, we'll see. Uh, 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 uh. The argument string, that is what ID is already there, na ID. Then what? Let me try with one argument. Why it is not working? Teacher not specified where, man. That path variable. Mm, 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 mm. 1 minute, 1 minute. Sir, make return type as a student, create that class. Runtime. Yeah, one value also I tried, two values also I tried. Okay. One more possibility. I can change here. Mm, Student is not there, no? What's this? I am passing only one thing, or else let me change here. Let me try pass at a class level, then I will see some data. Let's assume. Okay. Data get. No, no. Some data. Let's with it. Let me try with the single path variable. Later on, we'll see string something, some data, response entity, what, hello data, response entity. Let me change code like this. Return single argument, that is return new response entity. We can pass like a string type, then hi plus data http status dot okay, then whether it is working, let me try. Get mapping, get you're passing, that is a data. Okay, main method, okay, that is fine. Not found. So the postman one check. Yeah, authorization, auth, you don't have anything. Why it is not working? సేవ్ చేయలేదా? ఓ యా స్టూడెంట్ టు డేటా. Find slash data, even though internal. No, not data. Why you are passing 101 or some high, let's assume some 101. Array, what is this? Argument type. Just 1 minute. 1 minute. Wait for 1 minute. 1 minute. Why it is not working? One minute. It should be work, but why it is not working? That endpoint URL code. Ah, no. Correct గానే ఇచ్చాను. Let me change my data. 1 minute. Program is correct. Yeah. Okay, I change that. Just I remove the string here. Just I'm passing here. Okay, let me check. Again, stop. Execute. Yeah, I removed the one string here. Response entity, I remove this string. Might be that is the issue, I hope. Where let me run my application again. Yeah, it is okay. Where is postman? Find 101 nourish. It should work. Why it is not? Student illegal argument name for argument type integer not specified in the parameter name. Information not available via reflection ensure that the parameter flag. Mhm. Throwing the exception failed argument name for the code integer not specified. Hey, already specified, na? Let me run in the browser. This application has no explicit mapping for this. Our postman one check auth. Yeah. In the auth, there is nothing here. Yeah, in the auth, no, na. The basic auth, let me keep it. General, you are using no. Huh? What is this nonsense? Hemant. Path variable ID. Oh, path variable idea. 1 minute here, please. Can you pass like this? Mhm. I'm not sure why it is not getting. It should work here. Hmm. 1 minute. I'm checking. The root cause illegal name. Okay. String type we are passing. Okay, that is solution is what? 1 minute. Yeah, wait. Okay, I modified that code. Yeah, path. Yeah, that is okay. Yeah, that is also, yes, that is the problem. The path I have to pass. This is what I forgot. This is what I forgot. Okay, right. Thank you. Who is that person? Hemant. Thank you, Hemant. Yes, correct. Just we missed the path variable. We provided the data type and variable, right? But we pass like this. That is the path variable. What is that ID you are required? That is what I am getting the output also. 101 Naresh. Okay. Simple. Entire code is perfectly working. But the problem is what? The path variable we need to pass what? In the bracket, that argument type we can tell. That is this ID in the string format. This code you can pass in the string. That's it. That is only mistake here. Okay. I forgot to write these two things. Okay. It will work for uh finally conclusion. While using the path variable, don't forget whatever the dynamic parameter you are passing, that dynamic parameter you should tell in the path variable. That is only I missed. Entire code is perfectly valid. That is only I missed. Whatever the dynamic parameters are there, you can use like this. That argument as argument. Okay, that's all about it.